Hey guys, so here bringing you another video. So welcome back to League Discussion, the series I take a topic, rip it apart with my own opinions and experience, and encourage you guys to join in the discussion. So this one is a partnered video with QT. So one of the topics today, we're going to be covering two, but one of them is going to be a discussion over on there. And if you guys want to get involved, there is a chance to win one of the exclusive Sona emotes. That I'm going to be giving one away over there to one of the comments that people leaves. And if you are a winner and you're not from EU West or EU Northeast, I'll throw some Riot points at you, which I've got a bunch of Riot point cards here. You can see that the code isn't scratched off or anything. So go on the QT and join the discussion. And the one that we're going to be talking about for QT is voice chat in League of Legends. So it's a topic that we have spoken about before, and you will hear some of my arguments that I've given before, you know, because I find them valid arguments. But the reason why I'm talking about it is because there was recently a, you know, League of Legends Reddit post that, you know, it's the classic, like, I'm only one person, but I speak for the whole community that we want it, when that's not true. Statistically, again, I've spoken to writers about it. It seems that more people don't want it than do, hence why they've not done it. So when someone makes those posts, it's like, that's just wrong. And again, it's using information, well, it's trying to state information where they don't have the information. So basically, my arguments of, if you don't know where I am, I don't want voice chat in League, or at least solo queue. Like, obviously, there is voice chat in League now, that you can use it when you're pre-made. You can use it, I think that's pretty much it, a pre-made voice chat communication software. And there are some people that are like, you know, oh, we want it for everybody. We want it just in solo queue in general. I think it's a terrible idea, and again, from writers that I've spoken to, Riot has zero plans on making it in solo queue, because they also think it could be a very bad idea. And obviously, yes, there are some positives to it, and I'll give those first. The positive to it is if it all works amazingly well, and all 5 team members want to talk, they all use it for the right reasons, there's no toxicity, everybody's got great mic quality, then maybe it'll make games better. Like, the quality of the game. Maybe if all of those conditions are true, then maybe. But if one of those conditions isn't met, then it just completely gets thrown out of whack, which is going to be most games that it's used. So that's basically the only positive that I see, is that, yeah, if it works perfectly and everybody involved is on the same boat and there's no toxicity, there's nothing negative, then obviously it would be good, but you can't ignore the negatives. So the negatives, and we can break them down. So on the QT, you can give your opinions. Do you want it or not? So we'll have 2 responses that you can just straight away leave yes or no, and you can say why. And then also on the right-hand side on the QT, there will be a poll that just a overall vote as well that you can also vote on. So why I think that there should not be a voice chat in solo queue especially, there's a number of reasons. So we'll go through them one on one. So the first one is for the people that don't want to use it. The people that don't want to use it are what we call nowadays normal League of Legends players who have played this game for many years without a voice chat. You are suddenly going to put a voice chat into the game, but a lot of us who don't want to use it will still not want to use it, and you're giving those people who have done nothing wrong, who have played League forever, a disadvantage, and they have done nothing wrong. So basically, obviously, yes, voice chat communication is quicker. You don't have to ping, you don't have to type, you're talking. But for those that actually want to treat solo queue as a solo queue experience, you're a single player queuing up, which is what I like, and that's it. You're punishing those people when they haven't done anything wrong. So that's just one thing to note. It's a disadvantage when at the moment everybody's on a level playing field. Second point is, you as an individual, if you are so wanting it and you're crazy for it, try to do the experiment yourselves and see how it goes. So there are some people nowadays, and it is happening more in Challenger, that at the start of the game in Champion Select, there is a software called Discord. I'm sure most of you are aware of this software. I have my own Discord server. It's completely free to make your own voice chat server. A lot of people, or some people who want it, are putting their voice chat server, like their join link, in the Champion Select. And they're like, hey, if you guys want to come talk, come talk. Very often people don't do it because they don't want to talk to random people. But if you're somebody that is very for it, you've already got the option to go do it. Just do it on Discord. There is no negative to that, so you can already do it. You don't need to implement it to solo queue when you can just do it on Discord. Third thing is obviously toxicity, and this is where I'd say a lot of younger people or a little bit more ragey people don't see the point that I'm about to make, and hopefully I can make it pretty clear, is so many people go, oh, the answer to toxicity is you just mute them. Oh, someone's being crazy on the microphone, just mute. The problem is what a lot of people don't understand. It actually happened to me in solo queue the other night. I was playing one game of solo queue just to end my day. I had incredibly toxic Lee Sin, and obviously, yes, I muted him, but it didn't stop me feeling bummed out about all the toxicity that just happened. Like, that, the moment you press mute isn't just like a ding, or it's all gone. It did happen, and especially if you're on microphone with somebody, if someone starts screaming down your ear, you're not going to forget that. Like, that doesn't just go away. For the rest of the game, you're going to be like, oh god, that was awful, even if you do mute that person. And I'd say that would only get worse in voice chat, not better. So that's just another point, is you can't ignore the toxicity that will come in. And if we take a branch off that, so just general toxicity, there are people that, you know, obviously just don't like swear words, and I know, you know, I don't mind them, I just don't really say them myself. But there are going to be some people that feel uncomfortable with that. There's going to be certain phrases that obviously are going to be offensive to some people, which you can't filter. In League of Legends, when you set the filter term, or like if you're somebody that doesn't like swear words, you can have the filter on that it bleeps out key bad words. That doesn't exist for voice chat, obviously. So, and again, if they're going to have voice chat in the game, you're not being forced to use it, but if you don't, again, you're going to be at that disadvantage. So you kind of are forced to use it, or you're just going to suffer in solo queue. So you're, again, this is why I don't think they'll ever put voice chat in solo queue, because it just, there's too many negatives that can go wrong. And again, if we take, again, another branch of toxicity, abuse when it comes to accents. So I've spoken to a number of just, you know, female friends that I have that play League, and they are all dreading having a voice chat feature because they've had it in the past. You know, Overwatch apparently gets very sexist very quickly in voice chat, and that game had voice chat from the beginning of the game. League of Legends didn't even have that. So, you know, if someone has, obviously, if they are female and they've got just a female accent, there are a lot of, let's say, you know, neckbeards that have no social skills when it comes to that, and they treat them very badly. You can't ignore that. Or if just people have different accents. If it's a guy that has a feminine accent, he could get bullied. Or, you know, just accents in general. That if someone's got, let's say, if again, no, I love all my fellow Brits, but if they've got a very powerful Scottish accent, if they've got a very powerful, you know, Newcastle accent, sometimes that's going to be hard for people to understand, and that also could make a rather annoying situation. When someone's typing, everybody can read that as long as you can speak the language, but if you can't always understand, and that also comes in with mic quality. Mic, like, not everybody's got a £600 mic, studio mic that I do. So when you guys are using YouTubers' voice quality, or even your friends' voice quality, they may have not bad mics. The average player that plays League probably doesn't even own a mic, and if they do, it might be their inbuilt mic on their laptop. It might be a £5 really cheap thing that's going to sound horrible, and then that's not going to be nice to hear. And that also mixes, if they've got a hard to understand accent to begin with and not a very clear microphone, you're not going to be able to understand a word. And if that person is just saying stuff and people are ignoring him, that person could get ragey, because it's like, I'm saying what's happening, why are you guys ignoring me? And you just can't understand what's going on. So yeah, there's just a number of negatives that I foresee, and again, there is probably more, but the biggest one, the biggest one that I want to make very clear, that I think the reason why they'll never do it is because it's not a unanimous people want it. If it was unanimous that everybody was like, yeah, well, everyone will use it, then I think they'd probably do it, maybe, but it's really not. Again, the numbers that I've seen and stuff are more people would dislike having it rather than would. So to me, you're giving people a disadvantage when they've done nothing wrong, and a lot of people do not want it. Even if it was dead 50-50, I don't think they'd ever do it. I think it would have to be really a big majority in order to make it work. And I'd say the only way that I foresee them potentially bringing it in very slowly is they'd have to bring it in from the top down. And what I mean by that is, like, let's say in Season 10, they go, okay, we're going to experiment with voice chat and solo queue. Only Challenger people have it, or only people in Challenger games have it, and then Master, and then Diamond, blah, blah, blah. They'd bring it down slowly. I don't think they'd just release it entirely. Or they would definitely test it on different servers. It would not be a widespread test. It'd be like, okay, we'll try it on OCE, we try it on Turkey, the small servers first. It'd be a very slow process. And again, I've said it, the final point I want to make is when it does come to toxicity and stuff like that, most of us agree that toxicity is a massive issue in League of Legends. A lot of people that I've spoken to that have quit the game has been because of toxicity. They just can't be bothered to deal with it anymore. Riot's toxicity banning systems are basically pathetic. Like, they do not ban people effectively, quick enough. They're pretty bad. So you're telling me that if you want a voice chat system that is going to be so much harder to filter bad behavior and actually punish bad behavior, when already our ban system kind of sucks for a text-based system, is if our ban system in League of Legends sucks in text-based, there is no chance it will do well in voice-based. Like, in no world is that ever going to work. And again, the final point is, again, the whole muting thing. Obviously, that's the answer that people give. But again, when you combine that you're having a disadvantage by muting people in voice comms compared to the enemy team, basically what I'm trying to say is that you can't stop anybody just playing anything down the mic. They could be playing any music. They could be playing any noises. They could be doing anything down that microphone. And the moment you mute them, you're at a disadvantage. Where I'd wager when it comes to solo queue right now in a text-based system, to be honest, most people, and I find in especially higher ratings, don't really type that much. It's more a ping-based system. So if someone is being toxic in chat, you can just mute their chat option and you can keep their pings. And you can kind of get what they want from most of in their pings. Like, you're not really at a big disadvantage just by muting their chat. But if someone's using voice chat and, you know, they're not going to suddenly use pings because they're on voice chat. So that system is going to be used less. And for them people who are relying on, you know, pings and don't really use voice chat, then I'd never use it. Our communication entirely goes down because they won't use pings. They're not using chat. They're relying on voice chat, which I'm not going to use. So that it just is really harmful to people that don't want to use it. And again, like I said, if you are somebody that was really in favor of it, do the Discord thing. Do the Discord thing for about a week or two and see how many people join your Discord server, because it will give a good indication of how many people actually want voice chat. So that's what I'd say to the topic. Again, that is the topic we're going to be covering on the QT today. So go give your opinions on that. Obviously, civil discussion, any like really ragey or kiddie discussions, always like just we don't need it, obviously. And that is for a exclusive Sona moat for EU West or EU Northeast. And if you're on North America or a different server, I'll throw some riot points at you instead. So now we're going to get into the second topic. And it's one that I've covered before as well. But every now and then you get people that just really, like, probably are new to the channel or new to the game. And that is why overall win rates are a terrible indication if a champion is good or bad. So recently there was a person in the comment section that was raging at me for saying that Darius is overtuned. Darius got some buffs recently, and I was like, what are Riot doing? And his counter was like, oh, he's got a 49% win rate overall. What the hell are you talking about? He needs more buffs. And it's like, oh god. So the basic principle of a couple things is you don't use overall win rates as an indication, because the vast majority of people that are being put that overall win rate don't even play the champion properly. So these overall win rates, if you don't know, is that, you know, champion.gg uses, u.gg, all these win rates are by taking platinum games and above. The reason why they do platinum games and above, because if they did diamond games and above, well, there's not many diamond players in the world, so there wouldn't be enough data to warrant the win rates. So they use platinum and above just to kind of bulk out the amount of games being used. But, you know, the average platinum player, sure, to the average player in the game is not bad, but when it comes to, like, how good a champion is, a platinum player isn't that good at looking at it as an indication. And again, most of these thousands of games that are used for these overall win rates are by players that are just randomly picking it up. You guys have to know that the minority player is somebody that has a main or one tricks. They are not a majority. It is a minority person who is playing that champion solely, who knows what they're doing. The average person who plays ranked just picks champions here or there randomly or changes their champion pool very frequently. So they're putting all, like, Darius get buffs. Oh, I'll play Darius randomly, he got a buff. That person in Platinum who has never played Darius before their game counts to the overall win rate. It's not a good indication. The second point, which I was, you know, just hinting there, is when a champion gets buffed, sometimes their win rate goes down, especially depending on the type of champion. If it's a champion that is an all-in champion, even though a champion like that gets buffed, it's actually very common for their win rate to go down, because you have to play all in to make the champion work. But because the champion gets buffed, a lot of people go, oh, it's got buffed, I'm going to pick that champion up now, I'm going to play it in ranked straight away, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I'm going to play it because it got buffed. And they end up feeding even though it got buffed, because again, in the grand scheme of things, you can play anything in solo queue, even if it's the most overpowered thing, you can still feed like crazy. And that, again, what happens a lot of the time, and that's also why you see the play rate of these champions spike spike after a buff. I'd wager Darius's play rate. I'm just going to check it right now. See if his play rate has gone up, if they've got the data for it. Because a lot of the time that does happen, and their play rate goes up and their win rate goes down. So his win rate at the moment, so Darius, yeah, amazing. So in last patch, Darius had a win rate of 48%. He had a play rate last patch of 4.7%. This patch he just got buffed. He has now got a play rate of 5.7%, so it's gone up. His win rate has gone down. So, like, there you go. Like, I'm not making this stuff up. It's what happens. People who pick up the champion thinking, oh, it's got buffed, don't know how to play the champion. So then, there's another reason why these overall win rates aren't a very big indicator. And again, finally, is when you're looking at solo queue, you only really want to look at people that know what they're doing. And a clear example of this is the Azir example that I practically use every single time. Because if you're using this person's logic that was in the comment section, Azir is a champion that got nerfed. And I repeat, he got nerfed quite heavily when he had an overall win percentage of 44%. So just let that sink in. Overall win percent of 44%, and he got nerfed. So by the logic of the person that left a comment, he'd be like, oh no, he clearly needs a buff. Again, win percentage is not the indicator that Riot use when they're looking at champs. It's game health that you have to look at overall. And when Azir as a champion was incredibly overpowered in Challenger, where people actually knew how to play him, they have to nerf him. Like, you balance the game from the top down, not the bottom up. If you balance the game from the bottom up, so many champions would be overpowered in Challenger. Most champions would be overpowered in Challenger because you'd have to make up the lack of skill in low rating. It has to be the opposite. And that is why these overall win rates are basically bogus. Don't use them at all. If you want to have a good indication, and what I'd say is I don't think win rates are actually that good at all, but if you really want to look at win rates, basically find, I'd say, 10 high rating mains of that champion, add up all their win rates in the current patch, and then divide it and find the average. That is probably better. So I'd probably say look for Diamond 2, Diamond 1 and above, 10 mains. So let's say Darius, find 10 Darius players in Diamond 2 and above, look at all their win rates in the recent, 30 days or something, add them all up, divide it by 10, and then there's your overall win rate. That's probably more, that's a lot better than what the overall ones do, because then you're actually looking at players who know what they're doing, and there is a better indication because they know what they're doing, they're in high rating, have they been affected by the buff or the nerf? That's a much better way of doing it. But that's going to be it. That is just, again, there are more points that I could make, and I'm sure some people will in the comments. So just to make it clear, so we have two discussions going on in this video. The first discussion, which is all about voice chat in League of Legends, that is over on the QT. That is a chance to win the Riot points or the emote. And in the comment section of this YouTube video, we'll talk about win rates. So, talk about whichever one where. And that's going to be it. So throw a like on the video. Again, liking the video does help quite a bit, so I appreciate if you do that. Comment on the QT, comment in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time.